This is your 2020 Range Rover Evoque. It's new for the second generation, and it still keeps familiar designs. You have the sloping roof and you have the higher belt line, but there are a lot of new elements here. Let's start with the flush door handles. I've kept the front door open so you can take a look. Even with gloves on, your hands will get in there no problem to open the door. And I've kept the rear one closed and flush just to show you what the difference is. This is the P300 HSE. So we have the top trim model here for 2020, upgraded 21-inch wheels and the black pack. So let's go around the front. It's a nice clean design. It's very luxurious. It's very Range Rover. And I really like the fashion and function of the turn signals up front. You have a bit of a J-blade, you have an outline and a small line there. And basically when your signal's on, the whole lighting assembly, minus your regular lights, show up. And that's what it looks like without it. So there's the line, there's the outline, and there's that J-blade. Looks very, very sharp. And again, just the design is so clean, and you get LED fog lights as well. So I didn't mention that previously. So let's go back and just take a nice look at the quarter side of the new Evoque. So a little more than 8 inches of ground clearance at a 25-degree angle. And they say you can wade in about 2 feet of water with this vehicle. And that's pretty impressive that Range Rover still hangs on to their off-roading capability as well as their fashion and luxurious side. So it's a good blend of all three. Let's take a look around the rear. Slightly updated rear end here. And what I like is the simplicity, yet the kind of semi-complex side of the turn signals. So you have these nice lines, and they kind of look like they're just going into the car with the way they're lined up. So you got one turn signal there, and you got another one there. So again, all about fashion, all about function as well. It's always important to be seen, and with the 2020 Evoque, they've done a terrific job of that. And you have a little bit of badging. You have the Evoque, and you have the P300 HSE right there. Again, we have the black pack, so Range Rover in black, plus the Land Rover logo as well. Exterior gets full marks. Again, it hangs on to what has made it popular, and they've just modernized it a little bit for the second generation 2020 model year. That's going to wrap up the outside. Let's go take a look at the inside of the 2020 Range Rover Evoque. Let's take a look at the inside of the 2020 Range Rover Evoque, and you get lots of clean design lines, and it's very minimalistic, and I think that's a good move by Range Rover. You don't want to have an overly cluttered cabin. Seats are very comfortable, lots of support for your sides as well as for your thighs. Cool move here, independent armrests, so no longer does the driver have to move his entire arm if the passenger wants to pull something out of there. Let's take a look at the steering wheel. So following their new design language, there are 2 black bars on either side. When the vehicle's off, nothing happens. Start stop button activated, and now your controls show up. 12.3-inch digital dash, easy to see information and easy to obtain information. So full marks there, Range Rover. Here's your optional Touch Pro Duo. So you got a 10-inch screen on the top, 10-inch screen on the bottom. Let's start with the bottom screen. You get your climate, your seats, and your vehicle. So here's where you're gonna pick your drive modes. There's your automatic start, stop, activation, deactivation system. Really easy to pull your information out of there, kind of just set it and off you go. We'll talk more about that in the drive portion. Up top, you have your navigation, you have your media and your phone options. So slide to the left and you got a few more options there. And yes, you can change the degree of angle for the top screen. You can see there's a bit of gap there because I like my screen facing me. And if you don't, you can hit a couple of buttons and that will fold flush into the little housing there. There is a massive, massive panoramic sunroof that really opens up the feel of the cabin. Yes, it's fixed for now, but perhaps in future models, they might put a split. So maybe the top 40% where it'll open up and slide and the back portion will stay fixed. There's your clear sight right there. We'll get to more of that in the driving portion. It's on now. Now it's off and back on. Really cool move. Very, very smart. That's going to wrap the inside up. Let's go for a drive and see what the 2020 Range Rover Evoque is like on the road. You get 2 engine choices with the new Evoque. You have the P300. It's a 2-liter turbo 4, putting out 296 horse, 295 pound-feet of torque. Or you go for the P250, still a 2-liter turbo 4, but it's tuned a little differently with output in the mid-200s. So both of them run through a 9-speed automatic transmission, and the interesting point here is the P300 is a mild hybrid. And what that means is when you're slowing the vehicle down, you're going from 17 kilometers down to 0 to a full stop. There's a 48 volt battery that will actually hang on to the energy that you're creating, store it, and then redeploy it once you get the vehicle going again from a stop to whatever your speed is, wherever it is you're going. So the cool figure here is Range Rover says you're looking at a 6% reduction in fuel consumption. So I'll take a reduction in fuel consumption any way I can get it, and it's a cool system as well. And what's also really interesting is that Range Rover is thinking of the environment, so they have some recycled parts as far as materials go to really reduce their carbon footprint. And I really like how they've done that. It's a really, really good move. As far as driving impressions go, it's a very smooth drive, and it's Range Rover, and that's what they're known for. And you know, they want to be able to continue to provide you with a smooth on-road experience, as well as, you know, if you have the need and desire and want to get off-road, again, you can wade in about 2 feet of water, a little more than 8 inches for ground clearance, again on that 25-degree approach angle. So I think they've done a really good job there. And just overall, it's a very nicely refined car. They haven't fully reinvented the wheel, you know, pardon the pun, but not really. But they have the new Premium Transverse Architecture, where it doesn't look like it's all new, but there's a lot of new materials being used here. So I'm really happy that they've done that. We have the clear sight camera up here, and as you saw in the XE video, that takes the camera from the antenna that points backwards, and you have it here. Here it is with it on. You can see a full scope behind you. I'm gonna put it off, and I'm back to my regular rear view mirror. And it depends on what you want to do. To me, I've kept this on the entire time. I really like how it works. They also have this really, really cool system here, and you go to cameras, top left, and it's the clear sight ground view. So you could actually see what's underneath the hood of the car. And that helps whether you're off-roading or even in city situations where you might be coming up to a curb or, you know, some possible obstacle. It's an awesome technology, and the way that the clear sight options are going now, you have the clear sight rear view mirror, and you have now the clear sight ground view, and I think it's a great system, very safe, very intuitive. That's going to wrap the review up. If you have any questions on the 2020 Range Rover Evoque, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them pretty quickly. I'm happy they've kept the same look, same feel. You may or may not like the Touch Pro Duo. It takes a little bit of getting used to. You know, I'll be the first to admit that. I wasn't really fully comfortable the first, few hours I had the car, but the more you use it, the more you get used to it. And that's just the case with anything. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back sooner than later with our next review.